All right, the recording has started. If you're not comfortable being recorded, please leave the meeting and we'll have this recording for you to view later.
All righty, we can go ahead and start off with some introductions. My name is Erica Hoppus. I am the Administrative Manager of the IT System Support section for MLCC. We have been working on the SIPS Plus project for quite some time, and we are very, very excited to be able to roll this out to you guys in November. Sam, go ahead.
My name is Samantha Frisbee. I'm the business analyst in the IT System Support Unit, also working on the SIPS project and equally as excited to roll this out to you guys.
I'm going to go ahead and go off camera. I know, Sam, you're probably going to be sharing your screen, so we will go ahead and get started.
Go ahead and share.
All righty. So the first thing that I did want to cover with you guys while Sam is getting her screen up and ready to share is the migrated user data that we are going to be pulling over into the SIPS Plus system. So all vendor reps that are currently active in the system right now will automatically be linked to those licenses in the SIPS Plus system. So we do have that contact information in the system. And as you know, the vendor reps are our point of contact for those vendor of spirit licenses. So we are taking those vendor reps and we are linking those directly to those licenses within the system, migrating the data that we have in the current eQuote system. We're hoping that that eases the just that first time use. It's going to kind of take away the fact that you guys won't have to link to anything other than just being able to get into MiLogin and create the initial link to Salesforce through the AIM system. Everything else is going to be automated through the use of those vendor reps and like primary users. So a primary user is the key person on that account that has the ability to reach out on behalf of that vendor. They have the ability to register products, to do the transactions. With the new system, we also have sub-users and contact users that can be managed by the primary user as well. The primary user for the spirits side of the world is going to be based on the vendor rep licenses. So if a vendor rep license is active in our system, that is going to be your primary user for the vendor of spirits that it is representing. Once that vendor rep license is terminated, that actually will transfer the primary ownership to the new vendor rep that is put in place. So all of that is automated, on our side of things. So when we are doing that licensing for the vendor reps, we will take those email addresses and then we will go ahead and shoot out invitations to those folks. And again, that is all based on the vendor rep licenses and whether they're active or terminated. So that is how we on the MLCC side are managing the primary user setup. And each one of our primary users is going to be accessing the registration system through MiLogin. So I'm going to have Sam go ahead and walk you through that MiLogin process. And then I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys, how the sub-users work and how those contact users work and, just some differences that you're going to see as far as the user setup on the SIPS Plus side of things.
All right. So right now I'm in a MiLogin test environment. We encourage users to set up their MiLogin accounts prior to November 3rd. You can access that information on how to do that here, and as well as go to our website and click on the SIPS Plus link, and that will provide you with instructions on how to create your MiLogin account. So right now I'm going to act as if I am a first-time MiLogin user. I am going to scroll down and select on create an account. I'm going to enter in my unique email address and select next step. And this has now sent me a passcode to that email that I had just entered. So I will go to this email. And the verification code email will look something like this. And you'll copy this verification code here. And you'll enter it here and select next step. And here you're going to enter in some information. So you'll enter in your first and last name. And you'll want to agree to the term and conditions. and then select next step. And here you'll enter in your phone number. You can choose to do this step in case you get locked out of MiLogin for any reason, or you can skip it. Totally up to you for testing purposes. Now I'm going to go ahead and skip that step. But essentially what will happen here is you'll enter in your phone number, you select next step, and you can choose whether it sends you a text message or calls you with a code. And then you'll enter in that code and you'll move on to the next step of the process. So I'm going to choose skip this for now. And now you're going to create your user ID to log into MiLogin. We have a few different guidelines for that. It has to be 6 characters long. It must have an upper and lowercase letter. It must end with an upper or lowercase letter or a number, and it cannot contain special characters. So I'm just going to use primary user testing 2 and select next step. And now you have to choose a password. There's a few different guidelines for the password. It has to be 8 characters in length. It cannot be based on your user ID, so it can't be the same as your user ID. It must contain at least 1 upper and lowercase letter, a number, and a symbol. And then you just must confirm that both passwords you type in match. And then you'll select create an account. So now this is telling me that we have successfully created our MiLogin account, and it's now going to redirect you into the MiLogin homepage. The reason I'm getting this error is because I'm in a QA account, which means I'm in a test account. You won't receive that when you are in our production. So now we can see that I am logged into MiLogin. My name is here, Samantha Test. So our next step would be linking ourselves to the MLCC, in which you can scroll down here into the Discover Online Services section and select Find Services. Then you'll select Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Currently, it shows several different options here. All of these options will not appear for you. The reason that they're appearing for me currently is because these are all different test environments that we have. And for the sake of this training, I'm going to choose SIPS HF. But when you log into MiLogin, yours will just say AIMS Alcohol Information Management System. The next page is just going to give you a little bit of information about what AIMS is, and then you'll read the terms and conditions, check that you did that, and select Add Service. So now it's stating that we've been successfully added to the MLCC, so you'll launch the service. And this is going to redirect you to the MiLogin portal. It's going to show you 2 different options. The first option is to click here for the Alcohol Information Management System. If you were a renewal user, you would choose that option. That's where you would go every year to renew your license. But what we'll be clicking on is the SIPS Plus Product Registration System. Now, if you go ahead and you create your MiLogin account prior to November 3rd, you will not see the SIPS Plus Product Registration System option. You will only see that on November 3rd and moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and click this. And now we're logged in. All right, Erica, do you want to go ahead and get started on explaining the sub-user process?
Absolutely. So within the system, our primary users, as I explained, are going to be based on the vendor rep licenses. For our brandy manufacturers and our small distillers that do not have a vendor rep license, you will designate a primary user to our licensing team when you go ahead and submit that application. Our primary users have the ability to add 2 different user types into the system to also do some types of business on behalf of that particular license as well. The first one of those user types is a sub-user. A sub-user can get added to those licenses, and that sub-user is also able to get into the system and register a product. They can submit a transaction for those products as long as they're linked to that appropriate license. They are not allowed to go in and do any kind of user management. That is solely the task of the primary user. But the primary user does have the ability to go ahead and say, that, hey, there might be another person in the office who also assists with the products, and they can designate those folks as well. That is something that does have to be done on the portal side of things so that it is initiated by the vendor rep. But we do have expanded that functionality so that other folks can go ahead and register and do transactions on those products on behalf of that vendor as well. The other type of user that we have in the system is a contact user. So we were informed that there are, other folks, maybe that work out in the offices or in the corporate offices that want to be included on any kind of correspondence that goes out in regards to products or transactions. So if our primary users go in and they add a contact user, anytime that the system is going to automate an email out, from the registration side to anybody that is on that license, it's going to include those contact users. So a few examples of that would be if you are registering a new product, then a status update goes out. So when you hit submit, it will send an email out to the person, who created that product, and it will also send it to primary users and sub users. It also shoots an email out to those contact users saying, hey, this product was submitted and here are the details on that. When a product is approved by, MLCC, it shoots out another email just saying, hey, this was approved. Those contact users are going to receive those types of emails in regards to any products that are associated to the license that they're linked to, or any transactions, that have been submitted for the products that are linked there. Within the system, Sam, if you want to go ahead and click that license contact, so our primary users can actually take a look at any users that are linked to licenses from this tab here. So it just lets us know system number for each one of these relationships, but it tells us who that contact is and what license they're linked to, as well as what user type they are. So Sam, if you want to go ahead and show them how we would go ahead and add a sub user. And to do that, you would go ahead and navigate to the license screen and click the license that you want to do business with. And you'll go ahead and click that add sub user. So you can actually do one of two different things when you're adding a sub user or a contact user. You can create a brand new sub user, or you can reactivate an existing sub user. For this one, you did see on the license contact tab that there was not a previous sub user. So for the sake of training, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new sub user. We'll go ahead and show you guys how to deactivate that. And then we'll go back in and we'll reactivate that and kind of walk through that whole process. So if you select the new sub user contact, go ahead and click next. You're going to go ahead and enter first name, last name, and email. There are a couple additional fields that you can add if you want to, but the required fields are noted with the red asterisk. And then you're going to want to make sure you fill out that preferred communication method. Most of those would be by email. And this just allows us to go ahead and send email communications out to those folks. If you go ahead and click save. It gives you a success message to let you know that not only the sub user contact, but the license contact was created as well. Go ahead and click OK, Sam. Now, if you guys go back to the license contact, you might have to refresh there.
Yeah.
Your primary user will now be able to see that not only are they a user for this account, but they have also added another sub-user. If sub-user number two, well, I guess I would just say if our sub-user does no longer has this job, or they move on to, other things, you would just go ahead and select the number of that license contact. And it's going to go ahead and open that relationship. You do see a button up in the upper right that says update status. If you select that, it's going to go ahead and tell you that the status was updated successfully to inactive, and this person can no longer access anything for this license that they were linked to. Go ahead and click OK. If this person decided that the grass was not greener on the other sides and they wanted to come back, you can go ahead and go back out to that license. And then we'll go ahead and add sub-user. So we're going to go ahead and add them back. And now we're going to say we want to go ahead and add an existing sub-user. And in the dropdown, you actually are going to see that person. So you'll be able to select that person and hit save. And then the license contact is reactivated for that individual. So for our primary users, when you are looking at that user setup, we do show you like license statuses and things over on the right-hand side, but you will want to pay attention to the status column, because that is going to let you know which one of your license contacts are active and which ones have been deactivated. There is a limitation of 4 sub-users and 4 contact users that we have as far as the user setup is concerned. Alrighty.
Does anyone have any questions so far? All right.
Okay. All righty. So we're going to move on to the system navigation portion of this. And we did cover a little bit of this during that user setup, but I'm going to go ahead and take over sharing, and we'll walk through each one of these tabs and what is included in each one of these sections of the SIPS Plus system. Please stand back. All righty. And then just let me know when you can see.
Yeah.
All right. As you log into the system, everybody will always land out here on the home page. The home page is going to include instructions for you. It does have a Spirit dashboard. So I will just preface this with the test environment. Some of these aren't pulling in data, but the dashboard and the instructions will be available in the prod environment, and it will be specific to information for the licenses that you are linked to as a user. We do have a couple quick links here that are linked out to different knowledge articles. And there is a link that takes you back to the other side of AIMS. So if you are a registration user, but you also need to access something on the other side, within the renewal portal, there is also like a wholesaler list. So if you happen to be one of those members and you need to jump back and forth, each one of those different sections of our AIMS portal will have a link back to the other. Contact information on the top. So if you are navigating through the system and something looks a little funny, you've got contact information right on that home page, so you know where to go if you have problems. In the account tab here, it is going to let you know any account. So these are businesses that you are associated with. It tells you your account name, your bid, business location, and whether you are active or not. If you click the account, it is going to take you to a little bit more detail. It's going to let you know what vendor name you have in the system, your vendor number, if all of your Sigma information is in the system. All of that information is available here. We don't have any action items as far as transactions or anything like that that come directly from this account. But this is a good place to go, if you want to look to see, if you did a vendor name change, or if you just want to verify your numbers or any of the information, or make sure that we have all of our Sigma information. This is just kind of a good one-stop shop just to see, do we have what we need and does your information look accurate? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the license contact tab, as we did just cover this with our user setup portion of the training. But again, this is where our users are going to go to see who is out there as a contact on the particular licenses that we have. In the transaction tab, this is any transaction that has been created for products that you are linked to. So each person, each vendor rep is linked to one or more licenses. There are several different views that we have out here. You can look at approved transactions. You can look at anything that you've been working on recently. You can look at Spirit transactions. Um, you can look at submitted transactions, so if you have items that you're tracking, that have been submitted to MLCC, and you're just kind of waiting to see, what's going on with those items. This is where you're going to look there. Several other filters that we have out there if you're looking for something specific. So if you've conducted an ADA change or a brand name change, case size change, any of those items here, you can actually click those, and you can access those transactions out here as well. In the license tab here, you do have a filter out here to register Spirit or non-Spirit licenses. If you aren't linked to any of those, it's just going to give you a blank display. But we do have some of our users who use both sides of the world. Today, we're going to focus on just the Spirit products. So if you click the register, you select register Spirit projects up in the list view, it's going to tell you all of the licenses that you're linked to. This particular user is only linked to one license, and we are able to click into that license. It gives us some of license detail here. This is where we are going to go to add contacts, add sub-users. This is our base for registering products, so for new product registration, when we go through that training here in the next day or two, this is where we are going to start for all product registration. We do have a Spirit purchase order user coming shortly after go live. So that functionality is out there, but we are not using it at this moment. We have an option to submit a request. These are transactions that are generated from the license, not necessarily the product. And then we also have an option to send an email to MLCC. So I am going to just select that. So you would select a topic, whatever it is that you are sending information to MLCC about or asking a question about. You just would go ahead, click that, enter any, you can blind copy anybody if you want to. So if you have folks in the staff that need to get this email as well, and then you just go ahead and throw in, your test or your body of your email. You hit send, and this actually sends an email directly to MLCC. We are in the test environment, so we do not have external emails turned on at the moment. And then our liquor control staff will actually receive that item, and they will be able to respond back to you. But instead of having to go out to your email and pop an email up, you can actually send those emails directly through the system. The next tab that we are going to look at today is the commission meetings. So we did have an ask from some of our vendors to have access or direct links to the different commission meeting decisions and administrative orders. So these are all business meetings that are loaded into our AIMS system. You are able to access limited data through this portal, but these hyperlinks will actually take you out to MLCC's webpage as well. So you can go out to the meeting for 10-2, for example, and look at any commission decisions or administrative orders. If you know that you had a product that was on the meeting agenda for 10-2 and you want to kind of take a look at what's going on out there, you can actually go to the related list out here, and it will give you the links to the products that you had on that commission meeting. And again, from the detail tab, if you wanted to navigate out to MLCC's webpage that has the documentation and minutes for that meeting, you would just go ahead and click one of those hyperlinks, and it would take you to the full agenda for that day. The last tab that I have out here for our Spirit users is the product tab. And our product tab is going to give you the list view for all of the products that you have registered. And again, there are several different ways that you can look at this information. It is always going to default you to recently viewed items. So if you've just created something new, or you've just submitted a transaction on behalf of one of those products, you will see those on your splash page first. But you can sort these out by anything that's active in the system. You can sort these by delisted items. So if you wanted to take a look at anything that was in a delisted status, you can look at just multi-packs. You can look at just value-added products. So many different ways, that you have to take a look at these different products that are in the system. And each one of these products has a product link that you can use to access the product information. So you are able to get in and look into the product and see the COLA number and the liquor codes on the homepage, but liquor types, your case size, any information that you have submitted will be available on this page for products. In the related list, if there was a base product out there, it would be listed here. And any transaction that was submitted on behalf of this would be listed. So if you are, really just kind of wanting to take a look at a product and see what you've done with that product, since you've had it registered, you can go out to the transaction tab and you can take a look and see, kind of what you've got as far as activity. I'm going to head back out to the product here. One other thing that I wanted to show you guys about the page here is I do realize that we have a very small amount of products that are listed here on our results. And we did that intentionally because we didn't want to be overwhelming. But I did want to just point out that if you want to search this list by, liquor code because you're looking for something specific, you are able to, search by liquor code. If you want to search by, product name or partial name, you are able to, throw that out there into the chat as well, or into the search bar. You are actually also able to search by liquor code or by COLA number. So if you throw in a COLA number, it'll pull up all of the products that you have that are associated to those as well. So there's many ways that you can go ahead and sort this list. So for our vendors that have a lot of products, and you're looking for something specific, you are able to use the search bar on that product page to go ahead and get what you need. Or if you know that you need to, say submit like a case cost or something for a specific liquor code, you are able to just drop that liquor code into the chat here or into the search bar, excuse me, and then access the product directly to go ahead and submit that transaction. So we do have this page set up, for our users to search based on liquor codes or brand names, COLA numbers if necessary, so that you can access just the information that you need and you can search through more results than just, what we have shown here. Any questions on the main tabs that we have in our SIPS Plus registration system? I see Isaac.
Hi, everybody. This question,
Hi.
maybe you covered it, and thank you for your help with this. Are the existing items that are in the system or in the book right now, do they need to be submitted into the system, or are they automatically going to be entered in?
Nope, we actually are data migrating all of that Spirit product information right into the new system. So you will have access to, your active items, your delisted items, and the transactions associated with them as well. So all of the information that you have in Equal is going to be migrated to the SIPS Plus system.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's a great question.
I guess a follow-up to this, this may not apply to everyone, but there are multiple people that users that you have. So just so I understand, the primary user is someone that's going to be dealing with all the regulatory stuff, like updating the license license information. And when you say primary user, like I have a salesperson's license, through the state of Michigan. So would that mean that I would have to be the primary user, or someone that's, internally that's, you know, dealing with licenses, registering brands, dealing with colas and all that kind of stuff? Or are they the primary user?
So your vendor rep is going to be your primary user for your vendor of spirit, because they have been designated by that vendor to be the representative for that company. So if the vendor rep that you are working with wants you to, have access to the system, what they would do is, you would just reach out to them and just say, hey, if you need me to do, anything with the product registration, or if you need me to be able to access this information, you would want to go ahead and request that your vendor rep add you as a sub user. And as a sub user, you would be able to access those other parts of the system because your vendor rep, submitted that on your behalf.
Got it. So when you say vendor rep, are you referring to our ADA?
I am referring to the vendor representative. So every vendor of spirit license that we have in the state of Michigan has an active vendor rep license that is associated with it. And so those are the vendor reps that, where the application has been submitted to MLCC, and we have linked that person as a vendor representative to the vendor of spirits. So
Gotcha.
each vendor of spirits account has a vendor rep. It is required, in order to operate. And so that is the individual that we would be looking at to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Isaac. Good questions. Good questions. All righty. Anybody else have any other questions in regards to the way that users are going to be set up in the SIPS Plus system, or just the general navigation of the system itself? Okay. Alrighty. I think then we will probably wrap up and give folks some time back. I did drop the link for the MLCC SIPS Plus webpage in the chat for folks. We are going to go ahead and take the recording of this training, and we will put it out onto our webpage today. It will probably be out there by, I would say about 5 p.m. or so. And then we will also drop different user manuals that we have in regards to the same topic out on that same webpage. We do encourage folks to, drop into the webpage periodically, just to kind of see what's new. We are trying to keep that updated as things are coming out, so that everybody knows, what's going on and they know what to expect moving forward. Like I said at the beginning of this meeting, we do have another 2 sessions that will be scheduled this week. We'll be sending those invitations out actually by the end of today. So we will have a session tomorrow that specifically goes over product registration. So for new spirit products that are being registered. And Friday, we are going to go ahead and have a session on transaction submission for spirit products. So we'll walk through each one of those different transaction types and, how to get those submitted to the MLCC for review. If there are not any other questions, I will go ahead and give you guys some time back. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today, and I hope to see you in some of our future trainings.
Thank
Sam,
you.
did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Nope, I'm all set.
Okay. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks all.